What's good, Guardians? I'm back with another video to talk about my first impressions on Season 21, Season of the Deep. I'll touch on its items, seasonal activities, and the new dungeon in this video. But first, I'd like to ask that you leave a like on the video, share it with some friends, maybe subscribe so you'll be notified for more content in the future. These are small actions that will help my channel fight the algorithm and hopefully spread the content like this to other Destiny 2 new lights or returning veteran players out there. I greatly appreciate it. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Season of the Deep. This season comes to us just after the events of Lightfall and Season of Defiance, and a few things happen that I want you to be aware of. First, at the end of Lightfall, the Witness discovered what the final shape will be, and created a type of portal on the face of the Traveler just moments before passing through it, disappearing from our known universe. Since then, the Vanguard has sent multiple reconnaissance missions to engage with the portal, with no answers on how to pass through it. The results were, messy, to say the least. Then in the Season of Defiance, we teamed up with Mara Sov to become her Queensguard, to find and release prisoners taken during the Cabal Lightfall attack. That's pretty much it. Oh, and Amanda Holliday died just when we were getting to know her that season. Now that we've arrived at Season of the Deep, Season 21 starts off with Commander Zavala receiving an SOS from the recently returned planet of Titan, which was formerly controlled and straight up removed from our solar system by the Witness and his armies up to this point. The SOS message comes from a long-thought-dead Deputy Commander Sloan, who has not only survived during the fall of Titan and throughout its capture, but seems to have taken new Taken gifts that will help us this season. With our Guardian sent to investigate, alongside Commander Zavala, and with some help from the Drifter, we set out to find the source of this distress signal on Titan, which leads us under the surface of its methane oceans to discover that Commander Sloan has begun to establish a Taken psychic connection with the Leviathan creature known as Asa in an underwater facility. Commander Sloan tells us that the creature Asa knows about our mutual enemy, the Witness, and possibly how we can get to him. This season, we'll be doing all new seasonal activities in order to harvest special coral to boost the connection Commander Sloan has with Asa, as well as finding materials to get the stations around Titan up and running, again while facing the Taken and Hive, who seem to have a special interest in the depths of Titan. More on that later. Now that you know the basic lore of what's happening this season, let's talk about the gameplay and the two brand new seasonal activities, Deep Dives and Salvage missions. Deep Dives are set up for 1 to 3 fire team members and ask you to dive into the ocean depths of Titan to recover special coral that grows on the ocean floors that will help connect Commander Sloan with her connection with Asa. Special note during these missions, pay attention to your surroundings and explore. You might find some hidden collectibles and lore for the dungeon, but again, more on that later. Salvage missions, on the other hand, expand the fire team to 6 members and have you fixing stations around Titan and exploring ocean depths that lead to a new fight with the Hive boss. This fight will have some light puzzle mechanics for the DPS phase to happen, but it shouldn't be too difficult if you're paying attention. Outside of the new 2 seasonal activities, let's talk about the new area in the Helm, which is where you'll be visiting often to pick up seasonal vendor bounties, saying hello to Asa, and appreciating your own aquarium. You heard me right. This aquarium starts out completely empty at the start of the season, but throughout your deep dive missions, seasonal triumph rewards, and the brand new fishing activity spread across EDZ, Nessus, and Savathun's throne world, you'll be adding new flora and fauna at an alarming rate. Be sure to check back once in a while, see what's new once you've deposited new fish or collected something from your deep dives. This will likely update with each new step of the seasonal quest. That's pretty much the basics of what you can expect to get into with the Season of the Deep. But that's just the surface. There's still a 100-tier battle pass full of new items like the brand new exotic ARC auto rifle, the centrifuge, as well as new ornaments, ghost shells, and a sparrow that all fit the underwater theme. I have to say, I think Bungie's done a really good job here with these cosmetics. All of these items look amazing to go along with the underwater adventures this season, especially the dungeon gear. Speaking of dungeons, why don't we go ahead and talk about the latest dungeon that was released during the season, Ghosts of the Deep. Remember earlier when I said that the Hive seemed to be interested in Titan? Well, it has to do with this new dungeon. I won't spoil all the lore here behind it, but if you want the same impact I had seeing the boss fight for the first time, I'd advise you to play Kingsfall Raid, or at least know what happened during it. To sum it up here, we defeated Oryx, the Taken King, while aboard his ship, and sent his massive body floating through the cold echo of space somewhere outside of Saturn's rings. Aside from the backstory, this new dungeon introduces us to the youngest Hive sister to Oryx and Savathun. Once called Zero, but now known as Xivu Arath, this god of war for the Hive is looking to avenge her brother and exact revenge on his killers, and seems to be our new big baddie being set up for future content. Overall, this new dungeon is truly unique and offers plenty of its own challenges along the way. The visuals are stunning when you're underwater. It gave me big Bioshock vibes while playing. The jump puzzle section seems to be a little longer than other dungeons I've played, and make sure to communicate which air bubbles you're going to hit next, as there's only so many to go around. Sticking together as a fire team during these sections is a must. On top of that, boss encounters seem to have added health pools and may take longer than you're used to. Did I mention they also seem to have added more ads that spawn all the time in certain sections? Like I said, it offers unique challenges and difficulties when trying to learn the steps, but the gear and lore behind it all is worth it in my opinion. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my overview of the Season of the Deep. We covered the new activities, the theme and lore, and the new dungeon briefly. If you've made it this far, I'd like to remind you that you leave a like, share this video with your fire teams, subscribe for future content. I make these videos to share my new light experience of Destiny 2, so if there's something you have questions about, let me know down in the comments. Remember to keep those eyes up, Guardians. I'll see you in the next one.